Hi, I'm finally doing this video. I posted something on my page on the Renegade Yogi Facebook page, about if you wake up at certain times, it can correspond to certain meridians. Because when I was waking up at 3:30 in the morning, it was the lung meridian after my mother had died. And so my lung meridian was blocked because I had grief that I hadn't expressed, hadn't cleared out, gotten out. Someone asked about their time, which corresponded to the intestinal meridian, and then we went back and forth on diet a little bit. I never thought I would make some diet video, but I used to resist people fighting each other, and then so because of the resistance to people fighting, I ended up jumping into and seeking out watching people fighting. So whether it was marches or YouTubers that go to these potentially the big fighting situations, then I moved on to, and I ended up watching fights between vegans and the people that eat meat. There's some sort of diet, carnivore diet or something like that. So I was watching those for a while, and the vegan, they really fight. I mean, they really yell at each other. So I had a thyroid problem when I had my daughter, which I healed. I used to have a tumor on my thyroid, but I cleared it out. It goes back to a pineal gland issue from flying red eyes and stuff like that, the airlines and my flying career. But it also corresponded to speaking and keep my mouth shut and whatever. You can probably tell I'm not hugely jazzed about talking, but I do it to keep my thyroid healed. But in the course of my thyroid issue, I tried so many different diets. I tried so many things. And so I found something that worked for me finally, and I'm going to share that, but I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing what worked for me and this is for the person. This is mainly for the person with the waking up during the intestinal meridian. So there's probably a block in their intestinal meridian. Okay. I also am going to teach what my teachers taught me, intestinal exercises that helped me a lot. So that's what this video is mainly for, is to show everybody intestinal exercises, and then for the one specific person to share what I found is having an eating window. If I just eat between noon and 4, so 12 to 4 p.m., and I eat whatever I want. I can have 5 pieces of chocolate cake if I want, whatever I want. I just eat 4 hours food, and then I drink coffee in the morning, and I drink water and coffee in the morning, and then after 4 I can drink juice if I want, just liquids though. And it was difficult at first to go from eating normally to eating only in a 4-hour window per day. And I don't stick to it. I don't stick to anything, because I think if you create obligation, even meditation every day, I don't even meditate every day because I don't want to create an obligation. That's just me. Because then if I create an obligation, my teachers would say habit. When you create too much of a habit, you start to move into living more unconsciously, not consciously. And so by not creating a habit, not creating an obligation for myself, including meditation, I enjoy meditation more because it's not something I have to do, it's something that I get to do. So for me personally, do whatever you want, but for me personally, I I deliberately not create habits leading to unconscious behavior or, you know, like a machine. So, and I enjoy the machine. I enjoy the freedom. It's so distracting for me to look at myself. I know, Nicole, you're like, look, make eye contact. But if I'm making eye contact with you, like right now, I'm looking at myself, which is very distracting. So that's why I close my eyes a lot. But I enjoy the freedom of my life. So meditating wherever and whenever I can or want, or however it works. And then the 12 to 4 p.m. eating window, I have all the freedom to eat whatever I want. So let's say at 5 o'clock, I get my favorite takeout from a restaurant. So then as soon as noon hits, I can just eat that. But I don't stick to this. I don't stick to anything. So the way to get into the 12 to 4 thing, because I just wasn't feeling right in my body, and I looked at a bunch of different things. I tried a lot of different diets. I'm not going to go into it. And, you know, with the vegan stuff, my body said, don't even think about going vegan. And I know, and I love vegans. I love you all if that's what you're going to do. But, you know, they don't believe in killing like one cow, one elk, one deer, you know, one animal to eat that meat. You know, one cow, one elk, one deer can feed a bunch of people. But by eating plant products and stuff, you know, the way they go through, and a lot of animals get killed when you're getting wheat products and you know, the mass production of vegetables. A lot of animals are getting killed. Many more lives. They're just smaller animals, and you know, in some in some religious philosophies, a life is a life. So even, you know, the life of a mosquito is the same as a life of a deer. And, you know, whatever you want to believe. But if you have a story going on in your head that's like, I need to be vegan because I don't want to kill animals anymore, animals are dying either way. So whether you're, you know, really truly the only way to keep the deaths down in the animal community is if we each have our own gardens, and I plant all my own berries and I plant all my own vegetables, and then my husband, I don't think I could ever kill an animal, and then my husband kills the deer, say, and then I'm doing the vegetable garden and the berries and the kids, you know, all of us, and then that's the least amount because we're eating from our yard, but that's not in the realm of reality for many people these days. So if you do have a story in your head like, oh, I wish I were vegan, I wish that I could eat like that or whatever, just keep in mind, like, one cow or one deer or one elk, one bison feeds like a lot of people, many meals, and you know, mass agriculture kills many, you know, mice and all kinds of animals like that. Any dietary change or whatever that you're going to do, it's so easy to research. If you want to try the raw food diet, if you want to try veganism, if you want to try the carnivore diet, there's so many people, whether it's on YouTube or dietary nutritionists, stuff like that, you know, research, see what works for you. So back to my 4-hour, this is what I ended up coming up with. I listened to this guy, Cole Robinson. He does the salt water, he calls it snake juice. I tried that. That didn't work for me. I do not want to drink salt water. My body's like, no. So what works best for me personally, and you have to figure out for yourself, is in the morning, water, then coffee or tea. And then afternoon, eat whatever I want. One thing I like that Cole Robinson talks about is if you eat meat, you want a high ratio of meat to carbs. So like so we have a Five Guys in my town, and it's just easy. If I go to Five Guys with my kids, I get the double cheeseburger, not just the little cheeseburger, because there's percentage-wise, there's more protein, less bread percentage-wise. So for whatever that's worth. And then after 4, I will drink water and tea, decaf coffee, even, whatever. But decaffeinated liquids after 4 o'clock. And so as like a gift to myself, I got this. I got 2 of these at the Goodwill. They were $1 each. So I got a little champagne glass for $1, and then these. It's 3 little champagnes, and it was $10.99. So $10.99. So I'll have one of these in my $1 glass for dinner. So I'll sit at the table with everybody who's eating, and I'll have champagne or a glass of wine or water. So when I have a hard time getting into it, I can just have a little champagne, and just while I'm drinking the champagne, even though I think I'm allergic to champagne, I don't chug it. I have done that. I don't recommend that, but when I get my little $1 glass out, it's my champagne glass, and then I open up my small champagne, I think to myself, I'm celebrating my life. I'm celebrating my life. Just that. So that even though I'm drinking alcohol, I'm celebrating my life. It's going to raise my vibration to more joy. So here's the scale. I don't know if you can see it. It's like pretty bright. But joy 540. Okay. So I'm enjoying a small glass of champagne for dinner. That's my dinner. And then I don't go to bed with a full stomach. Okay, now, if you're younger, it's probably going to be different. When I was younger, I could eat anything. I could eat forever. So this type of eating, you can lose weight. You can lose weight. And I don't find that I need more than 1 meal a day. And some days I'll eat a lot, and some days I won't. And if there's a party or a wedding or something that I'm going to go to, I just will push off the time slot. That's all. But again, I don't hold too tightly to any of it. I don't hold too tightly. All right. You can ask me any questions that you want about this. I'm sure that what I'm talking about is probably people would have problems with. And again, I never planned on making, food video. The vegans, there's some vegans that you just watch them in their videos. They just eat. They eat all day long. And it's pretty fun. And they talk about their bowel movements and everything. I'm like, wow, no thanks. But I love to watch different people and the way they live, and listen to the way they live, and listen to their point of view. And I find a ton of freedom in not trying to choose a side. Just listening to everybody, just listening to the vegans and listening to the carnivores, as they call themselves, and just listen. They're all living their life the way they're living it anyway. I'm not pushing myself to choose who's right or who's wrong. I just listen, okay, because I don't know. And I really enjoy not needing to know who's right or what's right. Just like listening. Okay. So much freedom in that. So I don't think the intestinal stuff for my friend, I'm going to call you my friend, is 100% diet related. There's a lot of crap out there that people are, even if you're living a lifestyle that's not stressful, there are so many people who are stressed. There's so much lying going on. My son's in 6th grade, and they're not allowed to use this thing called Pepe the Frog. It's a green frog meme, and it's from the 4chan board. And my son knows all about 4chan and Pepe, and he's like, Mom, they won't let us use Pepe because they said it's a racist hate symbol. I'm like, what? So sure enough, they really don't understand. They don't understand the whole 4chan, Kekistan, Pepe culture, and they don't understand the meme, and So 4chan trolls the mainstream media. They were on 4chan. That's who had the OK symbol. They said it was that it meant white power, WP. So they waited till the mainstream media took the bait, and then they ran all these stories about how the OK symbol is what means white power, and then 4chan flooded the airways with pictures of Obama and Hillary and all these, black people and Democrats doing the OK sign. But that, they squelched it. But they still didn't learn, because now 4chan has a new one. It's Pepe, but he's dressed as a clown, and his name's Honkler. And if you take the honk pill, so people are talking about the red pill, the blue pill, the black pill, and now there's the honk pill. And so on 4chan there is they're trolling again with the clown being now a symbol of racism. They fell for it again, and it's just Pepe with a rainbow wig on and a red clown nose, and he passes by. There's all these people fighting, and NPCs fighting, and the Wojak is another 4chan meme thing. It's a 4chan. I should do a 4chan video, because people don't understand. They just don't understand 4chan. It's just an anonymous sharing board, people all over the world. But I got to make a 4chan video at some point. But the mainstream media keeps getting trolled by 4chan, and they fall for it every single time. And then they put all this stuff out, and there's people really freaking out about people really believing that this green frog is a racist hate symbol, and people now really believing that Pepe with the clown wig and the red nose, Honkler, is like another symbol of hate, or that they're doing something against the LGBTQ community. And it's not. It's just the whole clown world thing is, everything's crazy right now, and everybody's fighting and going nuts, and then you take the honk pill and you just laugh. It's really basically all it is just laugh and enjoy yourself in this clown culture of where everybody's fighting over all this ridiculous stuff, and taking the honk pill is just to be happy, just to like enjoy yourself and be happy, and that's what it is. But back to what I'm saying is, people don't get it, and people are the mainstream media keeps getting trolled. And in 4chan, in that culture, every time the mainstream media falls for their trick, it's even funnier, and it goes even further. And they're very smart. The organized autists over there. So if you don't understand 4chan, you think, you let the mainstream media, if you let the mainstream media tell you what's happening and what 4chan is and what Pepe is, you're not getting it. And so there's all these people, and I have friends and family, and they believe all that, and so people are reacting to it. And so there's a lot of stress in our culture, and they really believe like Nazis everywhere. And then there's a lot of people making money off of people's stress, like this right-wing watch. They're like, pay us, you give us money, and we're a non-profit or whatever, and we need your money, give us money, and we'll find out, we'll show you where all the Nazis are and what everything means. And so people are actually giving them donations and money to research, 4chan and these memes, and they're just making themselves more money. So, whatever you want, but a lot of the intestinal stuff, it's not all diet. So you can do the eating window that I use, and you can meditate, but you have to also keep in mind that people around you are stressed out. And I don't know you that well, but I see your face, and you look young, and you look female. I mean, you're female, and a lot of young females, you guys don't know that you're empathic. And empathy means that you read other people's feelings. And if you don't know, if you're empathic and you don't know you're empathic, then I always say it's like you fell on water skis and then you haven't let go of the rope. And so you could be around people, friends or family of your own, and they're stressed about stuff, and it's getting into you. It's getting in, and then you're feeling that, and then you think you're stressed because that's normal. That would be the way to read it. So I wish I could work with you. Maybe we will. You're probably empathic. And so there's a good chance that upwards of 50% of the stress or anxiety, and maybe you're not even aware of it, that you feel is not yours, that it's other people's. And you're in my group, so you have a loving heart, you have a desire for a more comfortable, more peaceful life, and you also have a wish, to either help people or whatever. Everybody calm down, and people like me and you, we want everyone to calm down because then we'll feel better because we're empathic. Shh, come here. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do intestinal exercises. That's where we're going to end, and just keep in mind a lot of what you may have stress inside that isn't yours, and so you're not letting it go. So tapping is great, and these intestinal exercises is great. And keeping in mind, maybe I'm empathic. Okay, so if you feel stressed, just put your hand over your heart and sink down and just say, is this mine? Is this mine? I remember when I first started doing that, it was over 75% of what I was feeling wasn't even mine. And if it hadn't occurred to me or, been guided for me to ask if is this mine? Because it finally got outlandish to where I was like, the feelings were like really foreign and unrecognizable, but it had to get to a pretty big point where I was like, is this even mine? I was like, no, thank you for asking. So anyway, all right, so the intestinal exercises, you can't see, but okay. So if you're standing, so you can do these anywhere. You can do these in your car. You can do it while you're driving, while you're driving in your car. You can do it while you're doing dishes. You can do it while you're watching television. Hopefully you're watching happy, joy producing shows. So if you're standing, you're going to want to make sure that your feet, the outside edges of your feet are straight, not turned out, so they're like straight, which means your toes are going to be slightly pointed in. Okay? And you want your knees bent. If you find yourself getting lightheaded when you do these intestinal exercises, it's because your knees are straight, so you can get dizzy. Okay? So knees bent, you want to have a comfortable position. So just like in meditation, my shoulders are back and down and they're over my hips, which means I have a little curve in my spine. Okay? My teachers always made this little triangle here. So you fill your belly, you push your belly way out, and then you pull it way in. Out, in. Out, in. Out, in. Knees are bent slightly, feet are... So you don't have to do it with your breath, but you can. Keep your shoulders relaxed. So you could, when you fill your belly, pretend like you're filling a balloon. So I'm breathing in, big belly, breathing out. And I squeeze my belly button. I pull it right back to my backbone. Big belly, backbone. Okay, so that's intestinal exercises. I used to do, like in healer school, we did like 2,000 a day during healer training. During healer school, it was 2,000 a day we did. But in normal, when I first started, I was doing 500 a day of these. So I would do like 100 or 200, I would just do, and then I just started doing it while I was driving. I would just do it while I was driving. When I flew for United, for a few months I was flying LA, and we I would fly the red eye back from LA back to JFK. And so I'd land at 7 o'clock in the morning. So it was totally against the body clock. And if you drink too much coffee or soda, you can actually get more tired. And then you have to pee, and for the approach, you can't pee for the last like 45 minutes or so, because you're just too busy. Sometimes 45 minutes. Depends on what airport, and it depends what time. But anyway, you get the idea. So I would do these intestinal exercises, and that would bring the energy down to my abdomen, and it would make my eyes clearer too. And then your focus is down on your abdomen. So it keeps the energy out of your head. So it keeps a cool head, and then the fire in the belly. And it would wake me up to make a much better landing at 7 a.m. after flying all night. There's another thing I want to teach you. Let me just see if there's anything else. So the reason they came up with intestinal exercises is because when they did autopsies on the large cats, there's his tail, looks like a little flag. He's 3. He's only 3. Chase. Hi. They did autopsies on the large cats, and because of the way they ran, their intestines were going, big, small, just like we did. And none of the big cats, they were all dying of like predators or old age, mostly predators, but their intestines were all clean and clear, and none of them had cancer. So that's where the intestinal exercises came from, is just, a study of the autopsies. Those animals didn't have cancer, and their intestines were all clean. And when they studied how they ran, their intestines were exercised. So that's why, I learned intestinal exercises. So, I don't know, So when I went to healer training, our teachers were enlightened people from Korea, and over there they don't practice medicine the way we do. So in the United States, we wait till we're sick and then we go to the doctor. But over there, you practice preventative measures. So intestinal exercises, this other thing I'm going to teach you, plus like acupuncture and acupressure, which I also mentioned in my post, helps your energy, your chi, flow throughout your body, and that your body wants to heal itself. And if your energy is flowing through, then it will. So like I said, so I think, so stress is the common denominator in every illness. And there's your body can only give you like 200 symptoms of over 2,000 different diseases. So by practicing intestinal exercises, by practicing meditation, by exercising, by eating the way that's comfortable for your body, you have to figure that out for yourself. And just by relaxing, calming, and getting enough rest, getting enough water. Water is huge, and I think that you need more water. But another thing is just the stress in the environment. And if you're empathic, it's going to be worse than for someone who isn't, because you're going to be taking on other people. So depending on your job too, if your job is something where you're having to deal with a lot of stressed out people, it's going to be worse. So then you're going to need to meditate more. You're going to need to drink more water. You're going to need to really calm yourself down. And I can help you with that. I can help you use the stress that you have to practice your spiritual work on yourself. It's all about empowerment versus victimhood. That's it. All right, so the other thing I want to teach, and then I'll be done, is your kidneys are in your lower back. Right here, okay? And in the shower, just run, not freezing cold, but cold water, that whatever you can stand, letting that cold water run on your kidneys. And then you take all the heat out of your kidneys. So with your mind, you scoop all heat up out of your kidneys. All the heat comes up over my back like this, all the heat out of my head, all the heat out of my head. I want a cool head, all the heat out of my eyes. So now I'm just getting all the heat down. I put warmth in my heart, fire in my belly, fire in my core, fire here. right here, fire, fire here, okay? Then I go down, through between my legs, and again, scooping up all the heat out of my kidneys, cold kidneys, all the heat up and over, all the heat out of my eyes, warmth in my heart, fire in my belly, back around. So I'm just cycling my energy with my mind. Where my mind goes, energy follows, then blood, then matter. So I'm just cycling all the heat out of my kidneys. So I leave my kidneys cold water. Oh, the kidneys love cold water. If you drink cold water, imagine you can cycle your energy. So drinking cold water, I imagine as I'm drinking it, it's actually washing through my kidneys. Cold water, my kidneys, they love it. All the heat out of the kidneys, all out of my back. I move it up. All the heat out of my head. Remember how they say, keep a cool head. It's all kind of intuitive at some level. It all goes together. So all the heat up out of my brain, cool head, cold eyes. When things are cold, there's no inflammation. So when I take the warmth out of my eyes, I'm reducing any inflammation. I can actually see better. Cold eyes, warmth in my heart, fire in my belly. Again, just cycling. And then, so the more you practice, the faster it gets. So now I can just imagine, so I'm not even moving my arms around. I imagine cold water washing through my kidneys. First, washing through my kidneys. Now, I start an energy cycle, taking any heat out of my kidneys, moving up, removing all the heat from my back, the back of my neck, all heat out of my brain, all heat out of my head, all heat out of my eyes, all heat out of my eyes. I leave my eyes nice and cold, like ice packs are on them. I keep moving down. I take all that heat with me. I put some in my heart, warm heart, and then I keep going, put all the rest of the heat deposited into my belly. Okay, so I hope this helps. So, I love you. You're doing great, and I hope this makes sense. But it's not all about your diet. You have to enjoy yourself. So, you've got to keep your vibrations high. You have to enjoy your life. Every dead person I talk to, they say, you cannot believe how fast it goes. As soon as you die and you get to the other side, this guy I just talked to the other day, Barry is his name, he says, he was talking through me to someone, he says, the first 5 things that you come up with when you die is, your regrets. There's the first 5 things that cross into your awareness, like, oh my God, I did this. I could have done this better. Or I could have enjoyed myself more. So I understand that there are things for people that they truly feel justified in being upset by certain things, and that's fine. But your life is going, and you have to enjoy it. And a 99-cent glass with like a $3 tiny thing of champagne for dinner, while I stare at my children who I adore, I'm like, that's how I enjoy my life. And then my body feels better when I go with an empty stomach, whatever. But you have to find out, find your own way. And I'm right here. And then I'll do a pendulum video to show you how to do that too. All right. I love you. But you're doing great. You're doing great. Just have fun. Try these things. Let me know how it works. And I'm right here for questions. Okay, love you. Bye.